Remember the 5th of November. That's today. That's officially the official Rebel Day today for me. So that's pretty nice. Um, I want to play a piece of music, as I always do. And today I'm really proud of this piece of music. First, I'm going to play you a little video snatch of me and my son, like a month or two ago in the summertime. Yeah, maybe almost 3 months ago. In the summertime, my son came to me and he wanted to borrow one of my crazy shirts, and it made me real proud. So I'm gonna play that just for kicks. Hey guys, my
Hey.
son is on the way to school today. Today is a special day. Today is the day where my son became a rebel. He actually asked if he could borrow my shirt today. So look what he's wearing. Oh yeah. That shit make me so proud. So, what do you think they're gonna say?
Mm,
They don't know shit, you
uh,
know?
I don't think. I think they will.
So, when they ask of the finger on your chest, what are you gonna say?
Mm, why don't you mind your own business?
Ah, good answer. Good answer. Peace. So yeah, that was a proud day of my life, you know, because it's especially I'm proud of it because I don't preach this to my kids. I don't hide my beliefs. They know exactly what I stand for and what I believe in, uh, and they know that my views are very, very different from everybody else. They are very much aware of that. But other than that, I don't preach them what's right and wrong. I'm a big believer in kids being able to choose for themselves, and that goes in every department, in the truth department, in the religion department. Uh, Everything should be a choice when you are a kid. You know, then you should have your parents to accompany in the choices and the outcome of their choices, but in the end, they should be able to choose. And I've let my children choose. And when he comes and asks for a shirt, and not only did he ask for a shirt that day, it was that day. That day they were shooting school photos, so he's actually wearing them in the photos. I don't know where it is right now, but he wore them on his class photo. Yeah, that is awesome, Carrie Skates. That is really awesome, and I'm proud. So I had to share that with you, and I want to share you another moment that I don't know what. Now it seems like I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. So now I want to show you a piece of music. This is a piece of music my son introduced me to. Remember that when you listen to it. Remember that that is my son that came and introduced me to this piece of music, and that made me even more proud because that means he's been listening and he knows what I'm talking about. So I see you on the flip side of this one. It's a long one, but it's a good one. You're gonna enjoy it, and maybe I get flagged for it, but I don't give a shit. I'm gonna play the whole video. So here we go. Mm.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. "35, he gets the call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck. Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41, he wasn't walking. 42, not walking quickly. 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
And now I'm muted. Yes, lovely. So you didn't hear a word I was saying. Sorry about that. We got thrown off for a bit because they didn't want me to play it. Of course, you know, and I don't even think it's a monetary thing, you know, I believe they really don't like me today. Now I'm back again. All right. And the picture looks like shit. What's wrong with today? Yeah. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep on coming until they shut me up for good. Then I go to bed. But you should look this one up. It's called Money Game Part 3. It's with an artist called Ren. It is my son's idol these days. And that's, as I said, makes me really proud. And if you listen to the end of it, you will understand why it makes me proud, because it makes you understand that my son see the world as it is. And he's only 15 and he sees it. He even sees more than I have told him. He's starting to see things for himself, you know, and understand them. And yeah, I can't express how that makes me feel. it's important to me because everything I do in the end is for those my kids. It is for those small ones. And now I see the benefits of the character and role I've been. It's been a hard road, being that guy. Standing up in every situation, especially during COVID. It was especially hard, because I took my kids everywhere, and I was bearing that burden. I had to stand tall and be a beacon for my kids out there. And yeah, rough times, but now I'm harvesting the fruit of it, and yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud for what I've accomplished. Even though I don't always think I'm doing the right thing. And when your son comes with you and shows you this, you know that you had an influence, and I'm on the right path. So that's next. Our subject is the path. I believe everybody should have a path. I think the moment you don't have a path is the moment that uh, the system, the devil, the evil is coming for you. The moment you don't have a path, that's what makes you vulnerable. I believe standing up every morning needs a purpose. I believe that if you stand up every day with a purpose, you will be able to create your your secureness. No, that was the wrong word. Your your confidence in what you have to do that day. If you stand up every day knowing what you want and where you're going, it's easier to get there, you know. But if you're in doubt and taking all the wrong shortcuts, then you will end up in places you don't want to be, right? So I think that is what life is. You need to go stand up every day and zoom in on that purpose, that focus, that goal you have, not only for that day, for that month, that year, you know, and never lose sight of it. And the moment you get close, not even when you get there, you don't want to get there, you know, you always want to move that goalpost just a little, So if you feel you're almost there, you know, go further, look behind, and find a new goal, And I think that is the path. That is the path I'm following. I'm following what you heard. For you that were here in the start, you heard the 21 principles of Miyamoto Musashi. It's called the Dokudo. You can look it up. When I'm done here, I will put it in subscription. I will put the video with Ren in there too, because I think those two are very, very important. Miyamoto Musashi uh, he has a guide to how you can become a better man, but it's not necessarily your path. We all are on different paths, but what he's describing in the Dokudo can be applied to any path. So it's more principles behind your path than its path in itself. So they're tools you can use to find your way. And I know what I've chosen. I'm a rebel. I align myself with the path of a warrior, uh, and that can be misleading because a warrior has been described in a different way than what it is to me through media and movies and everything. A warrior is one that charges over the battlefield. And yeah, that's not who I am. A warrior to me is somebody who fights for what they believe in, never back down, always stand their ground, you know, always aligned with who the enemy is and ready to fight at any moment, but always wish to go the peaceful way. And that's very important. A warrior is not somebody who's charging the battlefield. A warrior is somebody that's standing in the front line as the front line gets pushed backwards. And the moment he's pushed in the corner, that's where he explode. You know, so he will always try to keep unity and peace. So a warrior is much more than just fighting. It is a philosophy of a man that is determined, for the bigger picture, more than himself. Basically, he sets everybody else and the bigger picture over himself. That to me is a true warrior. And yeah, that can be implied in many situations. I see myself at that. If you have the time, everybody here should read the Book of Five Rings, even though you're not like me, you're somebody else, you should still read it. There's a lot of good stuff in there. If you want the simplified version, you go and read the Dokudo, which is the 21 principles in the art of walking alone. There you go. So Miyamoto Musashi, he is my Sifu. He is the guy I listen to. His path is not necessarily my path. I'm not a sword fencer. I'm not a strategist as he's describing it. But I am in my own way a philosopher. I do let my mind wander every day, and I like to be able to defend myself. So in many ways, I understand this path and I like it. I'm varying. I'm along the ride. I'm choosing my own path. I'm using this path as a guideline. And I think that's very important, that we are all different. We all have different path, So even whatever you choose, whoever you choose to follow, whoever you choose to idolize, just know that he's offering you a guidance, not a recipe. And to me, that is the deal. You have to create your own path. And I'm saying it straight out, it's fucking hard, especially in these times. Everything is just 3 times as hard as it should be. You can't even find your footing in a world. And now, while you're doing that, while you're finding your footing, then you have to understand and know who you are and what you want to do, where you want to go. Man, that's not easy. It's a hard road to take. But I think that is what life is for. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. There was one more thing that I wanted to show you today. Oh, yeah, I was out fighting, because I do that. Yesterday, I was at a tournament in no gi, which is new for me. Normally, I fight in the gi, and these days I do no gi. And yesterday I exceeded myself. I've never been that exhausted my entire life. I ended up having, in 90 minutes, I have 9 matches. So that's one match every 10 minutes. And there's a match is 5 minutes. So you can do the math. I was like 5 minutes on the mat and 5 minutes off the mat, and yeah. So I did 11 matches total, but 9 matches within 90 minutes. And that's a new, what do you call it, record for me. And I was pretty proud. I lost a lot. I got my head pulled off a couple of times, but all in all, it was a good experience, a good day to be a warrior. So I want to share you just a little highlights wheel of that. I'm not going to show you all. If you want to watch my matches, it is on my other channel. It's called Polar Protection. I put a link in there somewhere to that one. But today I'm just going to give you a little highlight of what's been going on yesterday. Here we go. there you go. I was in four brackets, but I only won medal in one. I got one silver. So yeah, it was a hard tournament. And today I moved the camera here actually because I can't turn my head at all. You know, they were ripping my head off left and right. Apparently in no gi, you know, when you don't have all these handles in the clothes, you know, they just choose to grab your head and hold on and squeeze that tight, you know. And I got to feel that, you know. So but it was an awesome experience, and everybody there was cool. It was a nice environment, and yeah, as I said, I've never pushed myself as far as I did yesterday. So, and I'm pretty proud of my performance. So yeah, very good, very good, very good Saturday for me. Um, so that's the path I've chosen. I've chosen to be a warrior. You know, I've chosen to better myself. Jiu-jitsu does that for me. It's different for every person, you know, but the principles are the same no matter what you do. You know, it's getting up, as I said, in the morning and be determined. That's the key. And not look at the downsides in life. Look at the positives, you know. When you get up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is roll your eyes, say, "Oh shit, I have to go to work. Oh no, I don't want to do that." No, instead, tell yourself, "Gotta get this done, so I can go do the shit that I want." You know, you know, it's part of life. I gotta do it. Fuck it. Don't put your focus into put your focus in the things you want to accomplish, and then you will see going to work is a tool to accomplish what you want, and it will not be that bad as when you think, oh, I have to do this because my boss needs me and I have to go, I can't quit, you know. So yeah, so yeah, I'm in a better spot, you know, than I was last year. I will make a video. I've been thinking about this for a while, where I show you because now I've been online since, well, 2019. Actually, I've been online since 2015. I'll see if I can find some old footage from back when I was FE Copenhagen. You know, many of you probably haven't seen that shit, but I started out in 2015 with a channel called FE Copenhagen. Later on, in 2019, I became Rebel TV, and when they shut that down for the second time, I opened up this one, the Tribe of Revelation. So I will make a video where I show you my progression because I was a total different person just 5 years ago. You know, I was a wreck. I was an emotional wreck because I saw the evil in this world and I didn't know what to do about it. But I wanted to fight it so bad that it consumed me. You know, so I come a long way, and I want to show you that. You know, it's everything, and jujitsu is just it. When I started jujitsu, it was the same time I started Rebel TV. It was late 2019. I started Rebel TV and I started jujitsu at the same time, and my life has just exploded since then. You know, because it goes so well in hand. You know, growing yourself, developing yourself, and jujitsu. Jujitsu is just, to me, it's the best tool in the world. You have nothing else to show you reality, you know, about yourself, what you're capable of, you know, and move those goalposts. Nothing is better than jujitsu. So that's my little promo. If you haven't tried to roll, you should try it, you know. There's two outcomes. I would go there and I would try it out for a month. Either you hate it or either you love it, you know. But everybody should try it for sure. It's for everybody. That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu, you know. It's not like Muay Thai and kickboxing, karate, where you need to have certain attributes able to do it, you know. Uh, in jiu-jitsu you can tailor your jiu-jitsu to whatever needs you, whatever body compilation you have, You know, whatever tools you have available, you can use it for jujitsu, and that's the beauty of it. I've seen jujitsu guys without legs still doing high competitive jujitsu, and missing one arm. I have a match with a guy who missing the arm from here down, and he was a tough fight, and it's just, yeah. I'm gonna stop yapping about jujitsu, but if you haven't tried it, go do it. Yeah, what is Mary saying? A comfrey leaf pulses to a very deep root and is full of minerals. A comfrey leaf. I'm not sure I know that one. Maybe we call it something else. A comfrey leaf. Bonnet? Bonnet? Let me just look that up just a second. Nope. I don't get anything off that. But yeah, we have a lot of plants like that. I don't know exactly which one you're talking about. If I had a picture of it, I probably know because I know all the plants up here. So, but we don't call it that, that's for sure. It's a very deep root. Oh, is that the Sif? I don't know. Sorry, Mary, I don't know it. But I'll look it up, see if I can find it. And yeah, so that is my advice to you out there. If you don't have it already, find yourself a path. A path will give you purpose. A purpose would give you a goal. No, a purpose gives you drive, and drive gives you a goal. And once you have your eyes set on that goal, it will give you ambitions, and it will give you the energy to get there and overcome everything. Because once you are on a path, once you have laid that path in front of you and you, boom, know exactly where it's going, then everything you meet in life will just be an obstacle on that path. It won't be a discursion or a distraction. It'll just be an obstacle you need to go around to get back on the path. And that's why it's so important, so you don't get distracted. So when you meet that wall, that seems impossible to climb, then you say, okay, I'll just go left. No, because you have to go that way. So find that path. Now I'm going to throw in, if anybody wants to join me, I'm going to put in a link. And we can talk about anything you want. And I'm going to pour myself a cup of coffee. Boom. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, more coffee. I'm sinning a lot today. Normally, I don't drink coffee this time of night, but since I did very good yesterday, I've been sinning ever since. I had beers too this morning. When I was on Mike's show, I opened myself a beer, 3:30 in the morning. I've never done that before in my life. Um, that's not true. I never done that before after I turned 30. So yeah, and tonight I had a cheat meal, ice cream, boom, with chocolate and everything, and now having coffee at a time I wasn't supposed to. So, boom, I'm just sinning, you know. But you know what? It's all right, and you know why it's all right? Because I know my path. I know when I take a little step off my path, I know where it is. I know tomorrow I have to get back on that path. You know, I don't drift because I you know changed my path. I'm not just going to say, oh shit, I turned left, now I have to go that way. No, I know I have to go back there, whatever it takes. So tomorrow I have to train a little extra to get that ice cream out of the system. It's a deliberate choice when you go off the path, and that's very important to understand. The moment you go off your path, it has to be deliberate, and you always need to have your path within your eyes, your eyesight. Don't drift too far where you can't see it. You'll lose your sense of purpose. I've been down that road before. I'm not going to explain that. So, anybody, press that link. You're welcome to come here and have a chat. I think somebody just did. Let me just check because. Oh, yeah. That is Mary.
Hey, hi
How you
Brian.
doing?
I'm doing good. I figured this was a good way to keep.
I just have to turn you up a bit. There. So, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. That was my fault for not muting my other window.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
sorry
problem.
about that, everybody. So, I thought this would be a good way to be able to paste you a link because I can't link you in chat about Comfrey.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, this is a video you can go look up. I'll put it
Put it
in
in
the,
the private chat. I'll check it out.
yeah. So, but oh, it's so good to find you on here today. I really appreciate you doing a stream.
Yeah, I'm back now, so I do it one every Sunday. So from now on until I leave next year, I'll do a stream every Sunday.
Oh, great, great. I just sent you the link, so
Yeah.
it's in the
Now
chat.
I have to find the
It's a YouTube video.
yeah, but why can't I see the private chat? How do I change the chat? Oh, there it is. I found it. Let me see what that is.
This is an old man in Alabama who used it all the time. He was a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
He's since passed. He was very old, but yeah, he talks about it, and then there'll be a lot of other videos that'll show pictures of it. It's sort of a low bush on the ground.
Oh yeah. I know these. They grow wild here.
Yeah, you got them, and you can pick them even if
Yeah.
they're kind of like dried up leaves.
I didn't even know you could use them. What is he using them for, you saying?
For pain, it's called the bone knit, or bone, like knitting a bone back together. It heals because its root, wherever it's planted, you'll never get rid of it because the root goes so deep in the ground and it pulls up all these minerals that are really good for your body when you're trying to heal it.
Yeah. We call them skvallerkål.
There you go. You know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you recognize it. That's wonderful.
Yeah. We
Is
have
that
them all over. It grows like weed here.
yeah. Boy, you have a gold mine there then. We have to work hard to cultivate it and get it to grow in the yard for a few years. I've got some growing now.
Nice. I'll try that. I'll try to. Right now, I don't have the sound on the video. I'll watch it after, and I'll see what he has to say about it.
Sure, that sounds good. I'm glad I mentioned it.
Yeah. Everything is welcome these days.
Well, I know I had watched a video and they said, "Oh, it's so abundant in Scandinavia." And I thought, "Boy, I'd like to
It's basically a compound is a cabbage. It's a cabbage.
know." Okay. Well, now I learned something. I
Yeah.
really liked what you played at the beginning. I didn't come in for about 20 minutes. I didn't see the
The
notice for
Dokuro? Yeah.
the opening was just wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. It was not planned. It was because I had some technical issues. But that is basically what I'm talking about. Is the Dokuro? It's the art of walking alone. It's written by the samurai Miyamoto Musashi.
Well, I'm going to look into that. I like the part that said, accept your situation where you are and
Yes.
and and don't be rattled because and I liked what you said about a warrior is in the front of the line and
Yeah.
it's only when you get backed into the wall or corner that you explode, but in the meantime you try for peace.
Yeah. A warrior will always choose the peaceful way out because a warrior sets his tribe, his family, he sets everything else first. So he knows what war brings. So that is last resort always.
Wonderful. Wonderful. But that part about accepting where you are, I think a lot of us are feeling
Yeah.
unease where we are at times. Should I be here? Should I go somewhere else? Should I, you know, and that helps. That helped me. That line there really helped me take a deep breath and just feel better.
And that's what it's all about, getting somewhere to go, and don't get too caught up in everything that's around you. And that's what he writes about. And it's called the Dokuro. It's a weird word, but it's Japanese. The Dokuro is about taking every step for yourself and not for your surroundings. Because that way you will able to double everything, all your efforts on your surroundings, because
Hmm.
you are in one with yourself, and then you will be much more worth to your surroundings even though you don't focus on them. you know so that's the message of it.
Thank you for this today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Mary, always. So
I can say
yeah.
goodbye and let somebody else come in.
Yeah, or you can talk
Okay. I'll just
until somebody else comes in. that's
okay.
that's me.
I'll just hang
Yes,
around.
this far there's nobody else than you and me, so it's all right.
Yeah. I didn't know you do this every Sunday. Is it always around the same time?
Yes. Unless I do US editions, I do that sometimes because I have some viewers in the US. Um, so sometimes I do US editions, and that will be 4 o'clock my time, which will be, I think, 9 or 10 o'clock Mountain time.
Oh, okay. Well, I do catch some of your. I did watch the wrestling video that you uploaded on the other channel. The
Oh,
one with
you know
yeah,
my other channel. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I watched a lot of them. The man with the great big head, the big tall guy. That was amazing.
Yeah, he was insane. He was like, what in the US it's like he was 6'6", I think, 6'7". He was a big dude. He was a giant.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes you meet giants, sometimes you meet small, compact guys, and I meet all kinds of guys. You never know what you're gonna meet, and that's the beauty of it, because everybody can be a part of this game. It doesn't matter how disadvantaged you are at some points. That gives you advantages in some other areas. So yeah,
Huh.
you just design your game plan around the tools you have.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you still participate and improve and learn and work at it, because I'm sure you're teaching some of the younger guys an awful lot
Yeah.
about the principles.
Yeah, I have the kids class in my gym, so I try to as much as possible. The young people I have there, I teach kids from 11. We have one at 8, but the others are from 11 to 15. And yeah, I preach as much about uh, self disciplines and stuff like that as I can. You know, I still have parents on the sidelines, so I still have to be very careful about what I say and do. But yeah, I put as much of myself into the kids as I can.
That's a real gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you get to a life review, they talk. You get to visit all the things that you do that really impact and help people in their lives, or so I've read and heard for a long time, and I'm sure you'll get the joy of seeing that, the impact
Yes.
of what you've given.
Yes. Especially, I found out that confidence is a thing I'm very good at. I'm very good at indulging confidence in other people. So I especially focus on that. You know, I have like I said, an 8-year-old on on my kids team. You know, and he's not competing or anything. He's only there because his mother saw my my abilities to teach confidence, and she thought that that would be a good idea for him, and she was right. He's really grown a lot in just 6 months he's been at my place. So yeah, I see my benefits, the fruits of my labor there too. It's
Excellent.
yeah.
We need that for our men, for our
Yeah,
young men, and
and I
for
don't speak about any of this stuff we're speaking of online. You know, I don't speak about that there ever. There I'm a different guy, you know.
right.
But yet I'm still the same guy, but you know, I just talk about different stuff.
Well, I think young men especially need a lot of confidence these days, and a lot of encouragement, and a lot of guidance.
Yeah, the last one is important. That's what I believe, because many of them already have the first two. You know, they just don't know where to direct it, and that's the key. You know, you have to point them at a direction, and that's all you need. They have everything, all the tools inside them. You know, they just hesitate to use them because they don't know if they're doing the right thing. You know, so I think with kids, all you need to do is just direct their energy at something they can see, and explain what it is. You know, where they're going with this. And if you give them that guidance, they will get there all by themselves. You know, and it will just look like I did a major difference, but all I did was just point them in the right direction. I believe that's the key.
I wish my son had someone like you when he was growing up. That would have been very valuable to him.
I wish I had somebody like that when I was growing up, and that's the whole thing about it. That's why I'm doing it.
There you go. Wow, you are inspired. I really admire you for that. And every time I see you online, what you say, what you speak about, it lifts me up, it inspires me. It, you know, it's thoughtful conversation, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. That's why I do it. You know why I do this? Why I talk about this? Because nobody else is.
It's not
Nobody's talking about the hard stuff in life. They want to talk about the truth and all the nonsense they see out there and everything, you know. But the emotions, the hard part, the hard part of, you know, getting footing in this world, nobody wants to address that because it can fuck with your mind in a whole nother level, you know. So
It can
yeah, of
also save you, though. It gives me
course.
calm, inner calm,
That's
inner
what
strength.
exactly, and that's the path I'm following. You know, I could sit here. I did that just a year or two ago. I was here sitting explaining all the bullshit in the world and exposing all the liars, and all of a sudden I just said to myself, you know what, everybody's doing that. I don't need to do that. you know if that's what people need, there are plenty of places they can go get that shit.
Right.
uh, and there's plenty of places where you can go and get motivational speaking and stuff like that. So I said, why not? I have the best from both sides. Why not combine it? You know, and make a truth community, and combine it with the spiritual side. Because we are far ahead spiritually than most of the people around us.
Well, it's wisdom about life too. You don't weigh too heavy on the spiritual stuff. If you look at it the way most people talk about spiritual stuff, you keep it mostly like wisdom about life, how to
Mm,
enrich life, how to make it meaningful, no matter how long we're here for, or talking about all that other stuff. We still have to deal with the day to day and live it
yes.
in a very good way as best we can. And you bring people right back to what's important. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that, Brian.
Yeah. And it's not just for you, it's for me too. It's an outlet for me. Come here, speak about, because I don't speak much about these things in my everyday surroundings. Because everyone around me see me as this strong, big motherfucking dude, that can handle the world with one arm. So they don't want to hear me speak about emotions. So I don't have that in my normal life. So I come here, and this is my way to express myself. This is my space where I can speak my mind. So I'm
Well,
getting as much out of it as you do.
well, thank you. We're the beneficiaries too, very much the beneficiaries. I mean, I can remember back in 20 2012, 2015, there was so much emphasis, so much going online about philosophies. I was really into uh, looking into philosophies out of India, Advaita Vedanta, different
Mm,
types of um, uh, mindfulness, and we had the time and the relaxation to do that, and to do that without thinking about anything else. We weren't interrupted by all the events that have taken place in the past 3.5, 4 years and ongoing. And
yeah.
I think a lot of people sort of dropped that stuff. They got away from it. It was helping a lot of people to think about being mindful, about mindfulness, and then
Yes.
yeah, but it's so important. I
It
mean,
is.
if we only have 24 hours to live, I'd rather live it not being fearful. Not generally a fearful person, but not.
Well, I don't know if you've seen my video about fear, but fear
No.
is, to me, fear is not negative. Fear
Okay.
is a tool, is a good emotion that you should learn to harvest. It is not a negative thing. Fear is an alert tool. It's an alert system, and if you use it right, you can get around a lot of situations. The way I see fear is just like fire. The moment, if you control it, the fire will cook for you. It will keep you warm at night, and it will roast your marshmallows. Fire is a good thing, but the moment you don't watch it, you don't keep it in check, it's gonna burn the house down.
Yes.
And fear is the same thing. As long as you learn to control it, you know, you are mindful of it at any times you feel fear. Why is it there? What am I gonna do with it? you know, then fear will be a tool for you, will be an alert system. But the moment you shy away from it. You don't want to recognize it's there, and it just creeps up in you like adrenaline, then it will burn the house down, And so control is the key. Control your fear, and you control it as an emotion.
How do you control it?
Oh, you as I just said, you have to be mindful about it, and you have to accept it. That's the most
Well,
important part. You have to
yes.
accept fear for what it is. When you heard Miyamoto Musashi, his 21st principles in the start, the
I
first
only,
thing he says, remember the first principle? Accept things for what they are.
yes, yes.
Yes. And that's exactly with fear. Accept it for what it is. It's an alert system. Most people these days, they don't want to be afraid. They don't want to even admit that they are afraid. It's like a taboo to be afraid. And if you're in that mindset, you're trying to hide your fire away in a closet somewhere, and it's gonna burn the house down. But if you take it out and keep control of it and be aware of it, you know, then you can control it. But you have to accept it for what it is. It is a system that's built and designed to help you out.
Well, that's really valuable to me. I've noticed a lot of videos regarding people having a reaction of freezing and not embracing their day as they did prior to 4 years ago. Just freezing in fear or not accomplishing as much with as much joy as they used to. And
Mm.
and I run into that in myself too at times. And that's why I kind of pull back from a lot of watching a lot of the news and all of. I mean, I know the news. I watch what's going on, but I have to really put it in perspective and put it in a rightful place. Otherwise, it can be extremely damaging.
Yeah.
I'm interested in
But what?
history, and
Oh,
I'm interested in how mankind has evolved, and what exactly is going on. Why are we in the place that we're in?
why are we here and where are we going?
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the key. But you have to find out where you are and where you are going before you can answer those questions. That's the whole key.
Well, that's the key I need to find, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But don't go seeking for a whole bunch of keys before you found the one
Okay,
key, and that's you.
okay.
Because if you don't know who you are and where you are going, put then you can't align yourself with the things around you. You know
Right. I won't be in the proper perspective.
exactly. You can't see the world. You can see the world for what it is, but you can't place yourself if you don't know who you are truly. You can't place yourself in that world. So it's all about interaction. If you know who you are and what you want and where you're going, then you can navigate through all this shit because it will just be experience along the way. That's all.
I used to do a lot of meditation.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know if
good.
you want me to go on about that.
I do meditation myself. I do it a little differently than most people, but I do meditation myself.
I'd be
I
interested
punch a
in.
bag. I punch this bag.
Uh
I,
huh.
I I close my mind off to everything around me, and I just punch this bag. I don't even think about punching the bag. Just like meditating, I just do it differently.
Gotcha. I lived with Tibetan monks for a couple of years back in the early 1980s when they were all coming over from Tibet. So I met a whole bunch of really old ones,
Hmm.
and I did meditations with them, and I had really profound experiences,
Hmm.
physically and just mentally. I would go into a different mental state, and So I had the confidence that there's more to this world than the turmoil that we see going on right now. And that,
I see it differently, Mary.
how do you see it?
I see when you are meditating, I don't see you going into there's more than to this realm, you know. I think you, when you're meditating, finding yourself, you know, is spending time with yourself, then you are able to see the world for what it really is. That's what happened
I
because
don't think I
you are
understood
within
that.
yourself.
I don't do that now. I don't do that heavy duty meditation anymore, and I don't go into those different realms, but or have those experiences. But I find my, yeah. So what were you going to say? Say that again.
I'm saying when you go into a meditative state, you know, then you are in one with yourself. You are in, you're centered into your own world. And now the world, you see the world in a different light. You see it from the perspective you're supposed to see it instead of what you see it in everyday life.
Yeah, yeah. I had a bad experience after those 2 years, and I still see some of the monks that I knew back then, but we kind of had a falling out, and I walked away. I left, and I left for many years. And I recently saw, I guess, what I would call my primary teacher this past summer, this past fall summer, and he had always for like 20 years ignored me and kind of like scolded me whenever I was came to visit and see when he was in the country, and he was angry. But this last time I saw him, he said, "Oh," he was telling everybody, "She, I knew her back in blah 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 blah. And yeah, yeah, I knew her, and
Mm.
she was my student and blah blah blah." And I couldn't understand why all of a sudden it was different because he had spent 20 years, like once every couple of years, scolding me in public, like I had done something wrong by leaving. And it just
Well,
pushed me
it could
further
it
away.
could be as simple that he's recognized that he maybe did wrong and want to correct it. You know, sometimes we have to give people a chance. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he also got, I would assume he probably had to get vaccinated to travel. I don't know. Is that a personality change? Because what the effect it had on me when I left was that I really kind of gave up all that. Oh man, I knew a lot of chanting. I knew a lot of practices by heart. I could do them all. And I just gave it all up. I walked away from it. And so now I have almost a mental block to sitting silently and doing meditation like that.
Maybe that was not the path for you, you know. And if you listen to yourself, if you truly listen to yourself, you know if you're on the wrong path. Something deep inside of you is gonna tell you when you're going the wrong way, you know. And the key is to just listen to that inner voice, you know. This is not for me, you know, and then just quit. Don't expect it to get better. Don't work to fix something that's already broken, you know. And that's my philosophy. Find something that just clicks with you and say, hey, that's what I want. I need that shit right there, you know. So
Yeah, I find myself very immersed hiking outside, walking outside.
of course,
Yeah.
that's a natural urge, Mary. Everybody should do that. I don't care who you are. Be one with nature. Get out in nature, because it also helps you by being yourself. You know, nothing teaches. There's no better teaching than to lie in a forest where you can see a clear sky with all the stars in it, and just be left there with your own mind. You know, nothing beats that.
Thank you for this advice. I've never really talked about it with anybody, but thank you. It's the first time I ever told anyone about all that.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. I will do. I feel relieved, actually. I feel
I'm
relieved.
glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad. That's awesome. Really. and it's just, you know, I think that is the point in this world. We need to put our expectations away. That was a hard one for me, you know, because I have all these big expectations about life, you know, that are things that I want to accomplish. But the moment you lay that away and just see everything for what it is, you know, don't put your expectations on the world, then you will see the world for what it truly is. And once you know yourself and you can see the world for what it truly is, it becomes so much easier, you know. There will still be shit in your way. There will still be big obstacles you have to endure, but it's much easier to find a way around it. Now you know when you meet a wall, should I climb over it? Should I dig under it? Or should I go around it? You know? So
Hmm.
helps you navigate in life.
Such wisdom. I just really appreciate it.
Thank you,
S-
Mary. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you. Goodness. Yeah. Is it cold there now where you are?
It's not that bad. We're still on the positive side. So it's like in the fridge. I don't know what you call cold. We're about 40 degrees or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
40 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 degrees Celsius, something like that.
I gotcha. It's about 10, 10, 12 degrees Celsius here in my house.
So it's a little warmer.
Yeah. But outside it was like 70 today. But then it goes down in the I'm not 70. It was, let me see, it was more like 20 degrees Celsius outside. But at night it goes down to
But
uh,
last month we had the warmest October ever recorded.
really.
Yeah, in Denmark.
Well, you can still get out there and find yourself some green comfrey. That's when it's best, most medicinal. When the leaves are still green,
Yeah,
maybe you can still
but
find.
it stays over winter. It doesn't die. You know, it stays. So if it's cold, you're just gonna have to go find it. It will still have the leaves in the
Really?
wintertime. Yes.
Oh, you have a hardy variety. Down here, it kind of dies back.
Yeah, we don't have hard winters no more. We used to, you know, back in the days we had hard winters when I was a kid. You know, those times are gone. We have like negative degrees like 2 weeks a year. That's it.
Hmm.
And a lot of the plants that used to die down is coping through the winter now. So things are definitely changing.
Did your leaves fall off yet?
Yeah and no, not you know, the trees have thrown their leaves, but a lot of the, what do you call it, bushes and henches still have them.
Oh, yeah, that's about where we are too.
Yeah.
Are you far from the water?
No, I actually have a harbor just 2 miles that way. So,
Oh, how wonderful.
well, everything is coastline in Denmark. We are consisting of 200 small islands. That's Denmark.
Oh,
So everything is coastline in Denmark. No matter where you go in Denmark, you will find coastline within 100 miles.
I love the smell of the ocean.
Yeah, well, our harbor doesn't smell that
Oh,
good.
yeah. Well, maybe you it's not too far to find somewhere.
Oh, we have beaches out here too. I just have to go a couple of more miles, then we have good beaches.
Yeah. When are you coming to the U.S.?
April next year, just after Easter.
Uh,
I'm leaving just after Easter break. I will leave for the US
how long do you think you'll be here?
until June, about three
June.
months. Yeah.
Oh, oh.
I'm traveling across the U.S. I will start in Maine, and I will go to Michigan Lake, Chicago, and then I will go south to Kentucky, and after that I'll go from Kentucky on my way to Denmark. So I'm basically crossing the entire U.S.
Maybe I can make it to Kentucky to meet you.
Yeah, I'll swing by. I will make my route after whoever wants to meet me. It's gonna be a live show every day when I'm in US. Uh, Basically, every day I want to set up a truth cafe in a big city or small city somewhere. I will set up some chairs and offer some coffee for everybody who has questions about their reality. So it's going to be a live show every day where I talk to people on the street
Sounds
about
wonderful.
life. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I used to do stuff like that back in the days when I was exploring other things. I was out there talking to people, and it was a good way to do it, and I miss it a little, kind of. So I'm going to bring that back when I go over there.
Yeah, I live in sort of western Maryland, not far western Maryland, but in the state. So
I don't
kind
know
of,
where Maryland is.
it's sort of outside of D.C. to the west,
All
un-
right.
under Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And then if I keep going west, I can get to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky isn't. I have to go through West Virginia,
I
and
will actually be in Kentucky for like 3 weeks at least,
oh, that's good.
because the gym that I'm affiliated to, it has headquarters in Kentucky, in Derby.
Oh, okay.
Derby. I don't know. Do you call it Derby or Derby?
Probably Darby. Is it
Derby.
Darby?
No, no, no. It's with an E.
Then it probably is Derby. I
Yeah,
don't know. Local regions say things differently in the U.S.
but it's called Derby MMA Center. That's where I'm going, and I'm gonna train there for 3 weeks. So
Oh, I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Let's see. Maybe I better start saving up now for gas money.
I'll swing by. That's
Yeah.
what I say. Yeah, well, when I'm starting in January, making shows about my trip. In January, I will put a big U.S. map up here, and everybody who wants me to visit, I just put a little pin in it, and I make a route out of it. So yeah.
Wonderful. Are you going to stop by and see Danny
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Kentucky? Oh,
Yeah,
good.
I was supposed to see Danny last year, but it failed out. So this year, I definitely want to visit her.
I'd love to meet her too.
Yeah, she seems so good, you know. And she's gonna teach me how to shoot guns. She
There you
promised me.
go.
Yeah.
Are you going to see Mike out in Denver?
Yes, definitely. My end goal in June is gonna be jamming on the plane, which is in Denver. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know Josh?
Fathead?
Yes, Fathead. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
his?
I'm gonna be at his. I'm
Oh,
I'm gonna end my trip at his place for jamming on the plane.
wonderful.
So I'm gonna see Mike up there, and some of the other guys. I'm hoping Larry comes as well, and some other guys that I want to meet. So that would be awesome.
Wow. It's going to be wonderful. I'm going to start
Yes.
saving now. I'm starting a little fund for gas money. Kentucky bound. I've never been to
Yeah.
Kentucky, but I've been deep in West Virginia. Yeah.
So basically, I'm gonna buy a car when I get there. I just buy a car for like 3 or 4 grand or whatever, and I'm just gonna drive drive in and sell it in the other end. You know, it's cheaper than renting one. I found out. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah. So the original plan was on bicycle, but it's when I have miscalculated the distance a bit, and time wise it was not possible. So yeah,
Mhm.
I have to do it by car.
Do you ride bikes a lot in Denmark?
Yes,
You do.
yes. I've driven across Canada on a bicycle, across Europe on a bicycle, Scandinavia on a bicycle. I've spent almost 12 years traveling on a bicycle.
Oh, wow.
That was a thing when I was young.
Goodness. Really an
Yes,
athlete.
I've driven more than like I don't know, 50,000 miles on a bike at least.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. I look forward.
So, but time wise, I couldn't make it, so I had to. And now I'm an old fuck, you know. So I have to fall in line. Know thyself and your abilities.
There you go.
Yeah.
I agree with that for sure.
And I just have to call somebody out. Good to see you, Martin Haley. It's been a while. I'm so glad you're here. And if I get the chance, I'll definitely swing by. Yeah. That's a good guy.
Martin, why don't you come on? There's a link up there. Does anybody else want to talk? You might be bored of hearing me chatter.
There's no such thing, you know. And if they are, they can just jump the line. I'm
Oh,
just gonna put it in again, and everybody that wants to join is welcome to do so. So, but yeah, I'm gonna speak of what I'm speaking of today. It's gonna be the topic for the next month or two. And from January 1st in the new year, I will start. Every show on Sundays will be about the trip, you know. So yeah, and planning the trip.
the art of walking alone.
The Dokudo, yes.
Dokudo. Dokudo. Yeah, I've been walking alone a very long time. I'm not sure that I've mastered the art of doing it, or I've gotten
Yeah.
very far, or that I'm not I'm not satisfied with how far I've gotten. I need to go further.
Yeah. Just remember, the art of walking alone is not about being alone.
Okay,
It's about being
right.
yourself.
About being yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Many people get that the wrong way, that they have to block the world out. It's not like that, you know. If you have for a second in order to know yourself, then you have to do it. But it's not about that. It's about knowing yourself so you can integrate yourself in the world.
I seem to love people. I have people around me, and I love to go out and get together with them.
Yeah.
Usually like minded people, interesting, survival type, kind of salt of the earth people.
Mm.
And it gives me great joy to pick up 2 dozen eggs here, and then before I even get home to put them in my fridge, I stop by somebody else's house and I know they could really use some eggs. So I kind of network things. I know a lot of people, farmers, beef farmer,
Yeah.
chickens, vegetables, and I love to network with people and just help barter and share, and I get a lot of joy out of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
especially older people or people that are kind of struggling, maybe not my closest friends, but people that I know of, people that I know are maybe don't have access to things that I have that I can share, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just kind of make
Yeah,
people smile. It makes me smile.
it's also about not, falling for the temptations and stuff like that, and materialistic stuff. When you walk alone, you only use and see what you're supposed to and what you need. So it's it's I call it, when I do that, I feel like a beacon. I don't even have to say stuff. Just my actions alone will inspire people. That's how I feel when I'm walking alone. So I'm still interacting with people. you know I'm just determined on my path, and people see that, and when they see that, you affect them somehow. you know I don't truly understand how it works, but I understand that you can express things even without saying a word.
Yeah.
And right now I'm exploring that. So I don't have the answers, but if I ever get them, I will share them, of course.
Like intuition or mind speak.
Oh, my intuition has centered me for over 10 years now. I truly, the only thing that matters in this world is what I feel inside. I don't apply by laws. I don't apply by rules, regulations, or anything like that if it doesn't feels right to me, ever.
Just living by your gut feelings.
Yes, every day.
Yeah.
I and when you do that, you have to lay your pride and all that away, your ego, because you have to be able to adjust it. Otherwise, it won't work. You know, you have to admit when you're wrong. You know, if you
Yeah.
trust your gut feeling, that's because you are feeling that that is the right way to go. And then when you find out it's not, you have to be able to correct it. You have to own it and accept, oh shit, this is maybe not my path after all. Maybe I have to go a little to the left or a little to the right. Then you have to navigate. So it's finding your path is an a open uh, mystery. I don't know what to call it. An open book. You have to be able to correct yourself at any moment. Otherwise, it won't work.
Yeah.
As long as you find that middle, that center, that balance, it doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong in the long run. As long as it feels right now, it's good. The moment it doesn't feel right, you correct yourself, you know, and then you will be a leaf in the wind, and it will navigate you.
Very nice. Yep. Yep. Very nice.
But always keep focus on where you're going and what you want.
I think I need to be more focused on what I want to
Yes,
do for myself. My fun
90%.
part, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
90% of this world needs that right now.
I need to do that. I need to be more focused and more accomplished on the things that I want for me to go out in the community and visit people and usually that's my Saturdays, but uh I can get distracted because that's my fun time. That's like my social time,
Yeah.
and it's full of smiles and happiness, but and connection. But um, then uh, since I live alone, I'm not as I need to do more in terms of setting goals and accomplishing them for
Yeah.
myself too, and not
And you
always.
already know where to go to find it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, outside.
Exactly. Go to the nature, sit down, be alone with yourself for a second, and you'll find it. I promise you. There's nothing better. It beats what do you call it? It beats meditating 3 times a day. Much better to just go somewhere and be alone with the nature. Works.
That feels so right when I hear you say that.
Yes.
Because I feel like I've been beating myself up for let's see, that's 20 years, oh, for many years, too many years for not being a dedicated sit down meditator. I just kind of like, I don't know, something happened and
You
I
don't
just
need
let that go.
meditation is for people who are not walking the path they want. It's an escape from what they don't want into what they want. You have to make everything meditation. You have to be in that zone 80% of your day.
You're right.
Make it everyday life, basically.
I think the people, a lot of people who practice Advaita Vedanta would totally agree with you.
Yeah. And I haven't even gone that path. So
It's
there you
it,
go.
like you say, you live it. It just becomes, it
It
doesn't turn
becomes
up.
you. Yeah. The moment you find yourself, then you're able to apply yourself to the world around you. That's the best way I can say it. But if you don't know who you are, you're going to try to correct yourself in anything you see.
Ooh,
The
I think
opposite,
you,
the
I think
exact
you,
opposite.
I think you nailed it down. I think I've been doing way too much of that for too
Yeah.
long. Although I
Yeah.
have spent a tremendous time out in the woods, I just haven't done it in the past
You know
uh,
what the
decade.
best advice I can give you
Huh?
is learn to say no a lot more than you do now. Learn to say no.
Say no to what?
Whatever you don't want.
Okay.
Most people accept things that they really don't want, that's not on their path. They accept it because they think it's a part of life. But if you learn to say no, you will find out that you can go on your path. You can bend your surroundings around you. But you have to learn to say no to everything that you don't want in life.
All right. I'm inspired. That means something to me. I can really feel that.
Yeah. That's how I did it. Back in the day, explained shit to people. So when I met him in the store in 2019, and everybody was asking, or 2020, when everybody was asking me to pull on a mask and all that shit, I was like, no, why would you do that? That's stupid. This is why, and I will come with all these facts and explain why they shouldn't do it, and it's a bad thing. It's bad for your health and all kinds of stuff. 12 months later, I learned my lesson. Now I just say no. If they ask me to put on a mask, I said no.
Well, I did that.
Nothing more. No explanation, just no.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that too, and I lost my whole large family.
Mm.
I have a large family, very
Yeah,
large, and my
that's the
parents.
price of walking alone.
Yeah, I've been through it.
Mhm.
Lost my
But look
children.
at it this way. It's the same people that are keeping you in a life that you really don't want. You have to look at it like plucking out the weed in the garden. Sometimes a flower will go with it. It's just the way it is. You know, as long you have to look at, they are part of the problem if they don't want you here. When you trust that feeling and express yourself and they don't want to be near it, that is probably people you don't want around you in the first place, even though it is family.
How is it that we choose those as parents? I don't know. You
We
get a choice. Maybe you don't necessarily get attached before you.
I think most
In,
people don't know their spiritual side at all. And if you don't know spiritual side, all you will see is the social side. You will never listen to yourself. You want to be like everybody else.
oh, I'm definitely not that. I
No.
never,
And
not since being young. I mean,
that's the difference between you and your surroundings. But the moment you bend yourself because everybody else is not the same as you. You gradually is a you are a compromise between them and you're in no man's land. Now you're not like them and you're not like you. You're just in the middle somewhere.
No, I was pretty rebellious from about the age 10 or 11,
Good.
and maybe even younger probably, but I couldn't wait to, you know, spring out of the, get away from family, do my own thing, and just do it all in my own way. Um, and I paid a heavy price for that. And, but yeah, I think that was sort of part of that's a basic part of my nature.
That's the hard part. If you've been on a wrong path for a long time, you know, when you change your perspective, a lot of the shit you think is close to you is it has to go, and that
It's
is the hard part. When learn when to let go and don't feel remorse when you do so. That's the hard part.
Yeah, it's pretty much happened. It's pretty much gone
I
now.
know, I know we all experience it. Everybody here today knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important. It's the same people I have here every week, you know. And if I sit here and just explain the world and the deception and the lies, most of these people already know what I'm talking about. They're just agreeing with me. But if we can have something real that can help people, now that's valuable, you know. And nobody's going there, so I chose to go that road.
After you've been through so much pain,
Yes,
so much, and it is painful.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been there.
And after you've gone through that, it's like, oh, I might have a worrisome friend, uh, a widow friend doesn't that lives a little bit far from me. I don't see her very often, and if I don't get back to her on the phone, she's worried that I'm too alone, and oh my gosh, what happened to me? Or God forbid, I would do anything. But after you go through that level of pain, the last thing you're going to do is just hurt yourself or give up, because you get stronger inside, and it's like a cussedness that, dang it, I'm not going to.
Broken bones are even stronger when they heal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do agree. And
But it's a dangerous road. Sometimes you know that too well, and sometimes we are taking other people's pain on our shoulders, and that's a dangerous road. We think we can shield other people from their pain by taking it on ourselves, and it's very, very dangerous, because not only are you hurting yourself doing that, but you are also actually pulling other people away from their path.
that's important to remember. That applies to me too. You're right. I do. I can ignore my own goals and get too do overdo it in trying to help other people.
Yes,
Yeah, that's a big lesson. I'm not as bad about that as I used to be.
I am.
Are you?
Yes, I'm still a sucker. I say this to myself every on a weekly basis. Yeah, I need to be more selfish. I have to think about more about myself. And I'm all on board with that until I see somebody in need, and I drift right back to that guy again. It's you know I've lived a big portion of my life for other people. Now I decided to live my own life, but in the moment they have problems, I'm willing to lay my life aside to help them, and I'm working on that right now to find that balance between when you need to and when you can put it aside.
It's not
It's
always easy. I've been pulled into
oh,
that too before. It's
it's
not easy, but
everything is hard at the start, but when you do it for a longer period of time, it becomes easier. As long as you are aware of it, and you make it second nature, then it becomes easier. At the start, you have to use all your focus on being what you want to be. But at some point, it becomes second nature. It becomes a muscle memory, and it becomes easier. So it's just like any other habit. You have to break that habit in order to create a new one.
I mean, you sound so accomplished. You've
Yes,
traveled all over the world. You're getting ready for this big trip,
yes,
and you've got your plans, and you went to Europe, um, and did the competition last year. I mean, you
yes.
really have your goals set, and you accomplished them. So,
It's because I I have, yeah, I set goals. I put this on. The flaps horses have on their head. So they go in the right direction.
the
It's
blinkers.
very Yeah, it's very important to turn that on and just focus in on what you want, because you have to in a world like this. Distractions are everywhere. The moment you're not fully focused, it will consume you right away. It doesn't take long.
I agree. Yeah, I
So
agree.
that's it. It's self-discipline and focus. That's all there is to it. If you master those two, you can do whatever you want.
Taking notes, by the way.
Do it. You can watch it back too.
I will. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I don't like watching ones I do talk on,
Yeah.
but I
I
got.
have on this channel I have video from the past actually where I'm describing what we talked about earlier about courage and fear and stuff like that. I already made videos about those subjects, so you can
Oh,
find some of my old stuff. You may have to scroll back a bit, but they're there.
okay. Thank you for reminding me. I'm writing it down.
And you want another one?
Yeah.
Without courage, without fear, you don't have courage. Courage and fear goes hand in hand.
Wow.
You know what courage is?
What?
It's not about doing heroic stuff. It's about doing what you need to in the most darkest times. That's courage. It's not about not falling down. It's not about not being fearful. It's okay
Okay.
to be afraid. It's okay to land in a bad situation. What you do from there is what determines courage. you know
Wow.
Without fear, if you're not afraid, there's no courage. you know what your action is while you are afraid, that determines courage.
Wow. Uh,
So there you see the yin and the yang, fear and courage. You don't have one without the other. You don't have the dark without the light. Everything coexists. It's a balance. So if you are never afraid, then you will never experience courage. And courage is the most powerful feeling you can have. It's better than adrenaline or anything else you can experience. The moment you feel courageous, you can accomplish anything.
I'm going to remember that. And I will re listen to this part of the video. Wow. You have
So
to
yeah,
know.
I'll be wrapping up soon. I spent my 2 hours today. I have work tomorrow morning, so I can get 5 hours Exactly, Martin Haley. That's the way to express it. Fear triggers courage. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martin. Well, I'll say good night then,
Yeah.
Brian.
Say good night, and then I'll wrap it up. And this is gonna be the show today. So it was all
Many.
you, Mary.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm honored. Good night to everybody.
Talking to you.
Good talking to you too.
So yeah, that's the show for tonight. I think I got to say what I wanted, and lovely to hear. When I'm talking to Mary, that people are actually buying what I'm saying. Receiving what I'm selling, and I think it's because I don't sell it. All I do is dangle it out here. If you want it, you can have it. I don't care if you take it or not. you know and that's what I'm talking about, being a beacon in this world. you know we have to set the tone instead of pressing our knowledge and all our wisdom, whatever, because we have to realize that we know a shit lot that most people don't. you know whether it's the spiritual side, whether it's the truth side, whatever, we have to acknowledge that we know shit that people don't. But also have to acknowledge that we spent a long time getting there. We can't expect to make people listen, to wake up to something that took us 10, 20 years to do so. That's just, it's not possible. You know, that's like they say in the Matrix, that the brain cannot cope with it and will just quit, and say, fuck it, you can't be right. So I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say. I'm going to stay here in La La Land. And that's the lesson, you know. Understand that you have knowledge they don't have. And when you get to do that, instead of trying to shove your opinions and wisdom down somebody's throat, just be yourself. Know yourself and be yourself, and be a beacon. Just go out there and express yourself in any given situation. And I promise you, people will notice you, and maybe they don't know what you're about and what you do, but you just get that feeling inside that, hey, I don't know what that man has in his life, but I want it, you know. And maybe they come to you with critical questions. Maybe they come to you to say, man, I want to have what you have, teach me, whatever, you know. It's all about expressing yourself without being, oh shit, my camera's falling down. Good timing. So, yeah, uh, basically, be a beacon, be in one with yourself, know your effect on your surroundings and the world, and use it for good. you know be aware of how you impact life around you. The moment you do that, you're able to do some real damage, to this system, this parasitic system that owns us. you know but first of all, you need to learn yourself, you need to know yourself, and most important of all, you need to accept yourself for who you are, and not for what everybody else wants you to be. You know, the moment you do that, I promise you, you're going to be that beacon. You're going to be that center of attention out there, and you're going to do some damage. That is the word of tonight. This is the tribe of revelation. Over and out.